I wonder why Luca and the Elder got involved. Well, remember that for later, viewers. Let's watch the credits roll of my favorite game of all time. Yeah, this is, well, maybe not easily my favorite version of the game, but it is my favorite version of the game. I love the graphics, the music, the battle mechanics, the plot, everything about it I love. I give everything a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's my favorite game of all time. It better get a 10 out of 10 for everything. I mean, just the graphics, just such higher resolution than the original Final Fantasy IV. Really brought to life a lot of the details and everything they did with the game. I love the new art style, even the portraits I like. I mean, in the Game Boy Advance version, I did not like the new portraits they had for that version of the game. I like how they changed them for this version of the game. I even like the graphics. Well, yeah, I'd say I like them better than the DS version of the game. I mean, seeing the 3D really bring the world of Final Fantasy IV to life was really nice. Even if it is like Nintendo 64 quality practically, but still, that was nice in that version. In this version, though, I definitely appreciate the sharpness of the graphics. And the music, I'd give it 10 out of 10 also. I mean, it's just, I love pretty much the entire soundtrack. Every song is at least good, if not great. Although, one thing I will say is I do like the soundtracks to Final Fantasy V and VI a little better than this game. But still, this is really good. I mean, it has my most nostalgic song of all time, the Fierce Battle theme, or the theme that you heard playing against the four fiends and everything like that. It had a few silly tracks like Mysidia's theme, or Palom Inforum's theme, or whatever you want to call it. The Calcabrina, the Dancer theme. So that's one thing I really appreciate about the atmosphere of the game, where it was just so silly. It didn't take itself too seriously, but it still had tons of epic moments. And speaking of epic moments, that's the big reason why I give the plot of the game 10 out of 10. Because, I mean, okay, yeah, I know, as far as technical quality goes, okay, it's not the greatest work of all time. I mean, yeah, I know, the characters don't have a whole lot of depth. I know there's all the fake-out deaths and cheesy things or whatever. Okay, I get that. But the reason why I love the plot of the game so much is just the pacing. I have never seen a game with this good pacing, where it's just one epic moment after another. It just never lets down. I mean, almost every other RPG usually has about a good quarter to a third of the game where the plot just dies and nothing happens, or it's just the plot maybe does advance, but it's not very interesting, and I kind of feel like quitting or something. But with this game, that doesn't happen. I mean, it just starts. I mean, okay, the only thing that I think they could have done is maybe like throw you into the battles more, like Final Fantasy VII did, like right at the beginning. But other than that, I mean, it's just great. I mean, you burn the village of Mist to the ground. Damcyan gets bombed to death. Rosa is dying practically. The invasion of Fabul, becoming a paladin, freeing Baron, the battle against the Dark Elf. I mean, it's just one scene after another where you're practically almost in a life or death situation all the time, as opposed to other RPGs where it's just like, well, we go on a mission and, well, we just either complete the mission or there's really no threat or danger at all from it. So I like how they handled it in this game. And me personally, I value the presentation of the plot, or the implementation of the plot, more than I value the actual concept of the plot itself. And the villain was on your ass the entire time. The only time it let up was like maybe the Tower of Babil, but then you had Rubicante there, who was also badass too. So you gotta have the villain very involved with the plot, because if they're not involved, what is my motivation for continuing to play? You can't just have the villain disappear for 10 to 20 hours and expect me to be motivated to keep playing. You gotta have the villain around, because the antagonist creates the motivation for the protagonist, and that's kind of the whole point. So that's the thing that I really love about the plot of this game. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that, but that's how I am. I value villain development far more than character development. And, well, finally, for the gameplay mechanics, easily a 10 out of 10. And that's the big reason why on the totem pole of Final Fantasy IV games, that's why I put this version just a little higher than the DS version of the game. Because you got your buffs, your debuffs are really useful. You even have a little bit of tanking with Cecil there, but not so much. You have it a bit more in the DS version, that's true. But I think the really big thing between the two versions is the debuffs, because they're just so useful. I mean, Pig, Minnie, Toad, Sleep, Paralysis, even Break, which I didn't really use, but there were opportunities where I could have used it, I just didn't. But still, I thought there was another debuff too. The only thing I didn't like was that instant death was never useful in any version of the game, but oh well. Oh yeah, stop, that was the other one. Slow. Even haste is useful in this version of the game. In the original Super Nintendo version, not so much, especially since you can't skip turns like that. But in this version, I like how they tweaked it to make haste useful, but without making it obscenely useful either. And, let's see, I was trying to think of something else with the gameplay mechanics. Well, I think that pretty well covers it. The thing with the DS version of the game that I do like a little better than this one is the DS version really fleshes out the characters more, and the background development of the story and everything like that. But one of the other things I really love about the battle mechanics of this game is like the equipment and everything. It's not so simple as equipping whatever the most powerful weapon is. I mean, a lot of times it is, but not always, because you want to be able to exploit different creature types, exploit different elemental weaknesses at various points in the game. Sometimes you want something that's more powerful for Edge, let's say, or you might want to equip a boomerang on him to put him in the back row there. Usually I like keeping him in the back row. He just doesn't have that many defense multipliers, because he can't equip a shield. I don't think he ever can equip any shield, now that I think about it. Not even like an adamant shield or something. There was a bug in the original game where you could steal like a mithril shield from one of the monsters, I forget which one, and you could equip it on people who normally wouldn't be able to equip shields, which really well, I don't know if it breaks the game, but when you equip a shield, it gives you like a lot more defense multipliers. I think it gives you another multiplier for every 16 levels you have, or something like that, if you equip a shield. I forget. So, obviously, overall, I'm giving Final Fantasy IV a 10 out of 10. It's easily my favorite game of all time. It's very well paced. I think the thing is, once you start going over like 30, 40 hours, you have a lot of fluff in the game. But this game is very well paced, and that's one of the big reasons why I enjoy it. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. The end! I like how in the original version of the game they did like a spiral thing with the end there, but, well, not in this version. Oh well. So I hope you've enjoyed this LP as much as I've had making it. This is H.C. Bailey, signing off. Have a good day. What? What's going on? This wasn't in the original version of the game. What's happening here? We saved the world. What is that Moai face there? Or however you pronounce it. What's going on there? Well, when you in the Game Boy Advance and the PlayStation or PSP version of the game, when you defeat the game you defeat Zeromus with a given character, you unlock a trial dungeon in the Lunar Ruins for that character. So we unlock Kain, Rydia, Cecil, Rosa, not Porom, just Rosa, and Yang there. So yeah, we want to save our clear data for that. And basically, in order to unlock all the trials in there, you have to beat Zeromus again with the other characters. So that's what I'm going to do. For the twins, though, you only need to bring in one of the twins in order to unlock their dungeon. So I'm not going to be bringing Palom with me, but I'm going to bring in, obviously, I'm going to bring in Porom to fill that role. How hard could Zeromus possibly be with that party? Find out next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy IV! This is H.C. Bailey, signing off. Have a good day.